You've clicked on the video because you want to know what mistakes you have to avoid with dropshipping. And these same mistakes is mistakes that I've faced, mistakes that people in the Palace face. Shameless plug, the educational platform that I run and I have been running for a year. I have seen so many people come through that place that they all face the same mistakes. The first one is do not touch AliExpress. If you send orders out from AliExpress, by the time it gets to your customer, they've already been through 2 birthdays and 3 Christmases. This is how they send out their deliveries, on a freight boat with containers. That's big no-no. Like, we do not want to touch AliExpress whatsoever. Now, don't get me wrong, AliExpress is still a good place to be able to find products, look for them, search for them, but not for suppliers. Do not use AliExpress. Now, you're probably sitting there thinking, like, what's the alternative? The solution for when you're starting out is using something like Zendrop or CJ Dropshipping, because you're going to get faster shipping, better quality. It's a lot easier process to send out the orders. The reason why faster shipping times is good is because you're going to have angry customers that are going to be spamming your DMs, where my orders. They're then going to charge back you, which means they're going to go to their bank and say, I never received this. After that, if they do that, you're going to get banned from using Shopify or anything like that. We do not want that to happen. And yes, you're probably wondering, is this an iPhone 7? Yes, it is. Don't worry about that. Once you are starting to get 5 to 10 orders a day consistently, I would advise you to find a private supplier. Now, a private supplier is someone that is in China, based in China, has a warehouse, has access to a lot of the warehouses where they stock the items. They source it from the manufacturers, get the orders in and send it out as fast as possible. And their main objective is to get it to the customers as fast as possible. Now you're probably thinking, where do I find a private agent or private supplier? Now, shameless plug, of course, my personal private suppliers inside the Palace. You're probably thinking, why is this guy talking about it again? I just have to say it. Do you know what I mean? The best suppliers are in there, but you can find suppliers through like Facebook group. You can type in on Google, Chinese supplier, private agent, etc. The only problem is that with these suppliers, a lot of them could be scammers. You don't know how fast they're going to actually be able to ship. You could order, and then once you get to scale and you're getting 100 orders a day, you're getting a load of customers like, have not received my order, and you found out that the supplier has either done a runner with your money, or 2, they're not actually sending them out fast enough because they can't deal with the demand that they're facing. This is why it's good getting a supplier. And when I first started out, I paid someone to give me their supplier. It was really good, and I've obviously progressed and used other suppliers since, but a private supplier is very, very, very valuable to your dropshipping journey. One thing I would say as well is, don't think about switching to a private agent until you get consistent orders, because they're going to get annoyed if you come to them and be like, I'm getting 1 order a day. They probably won't deal with you. Once you get to 5 to 10 orders a day, that's when you want to switch to a private supplier. But like I said, in the meantime, Zendrop or CJ Dropshipping is a good alternative. The next mistake that a lot of people make is stay clear from PayPal. Now, I'm going to tell you a little funny story. Basically, I first started using PayPal like everyone else does. I was running a store, and then I had someone basically say, oh, it never arrived. Even though there was tracking on the shipment, even though there was all the evidence to say that it had arrived, but for some reason, PayPal wanted to side with the customer. They do it every single time. You will never ever win, right? Anyways, what had happened was, because they'd done that, I then had -50, because with PayPal, I was used to just take everything out as soon as I could before they did anything stupid, and it was in -50. And I had stopped that store, and I didn't even know it was in -50. And I swear, I kid you not, I literally had people come to my door from PayPal, and they were basically like debt collectors or something like that, and said, you owe us money, £50. But I was, at the time, I was 17 years old. So I was just like, what is going on? Like, I was so confused. I was like, yeah, like 50 quid, here you go. Like, but they are probably one of the worst payment processors to use. And I would advise, if you're dropshipping, to stay away. Let's say you got 30K, 40K in there. You've now paid for all the orders to be sent out to the customer. The profits, not even just the profits, but just to break even on the amount that you've sent to your supplier to have the orders shipped out, it's sat in that PayPal because they put it on hold, and then they'll just go, oh, you know what, like, we don't really fancy giving you the money, so we're just going to keep it. That's it. I don't really have any crazy like nightmare stories, because as soon as that happened, I never used PayPal again when I was 17. I know people in the space that have had hundreds of thousands just locked off, and they've never seen it again. So beware of PayPal, be very vigilant. If you are in a certain country like Austria, I know a lot of set countries don't have access to Shopify payments, and Shopify payments is the best alternative, or Stripe, but even then Stripe can be a little bit dodgy. With PayPal, if it's the only payment processor you can use, you can't do anything anything but use it. But actually, if you are in a different country other than the UK or the US, there are a set list of payment processors that you can actually use. If you're from Eastern Europe, if you're from wherever it is, Middle East, you can actually type in Shopify payment processors for my country, and they'll have a list of payment processors that you can use for your country. Number 3 is actually something that is very, very, very interesting. And it's only a recent occurrence. And this is sort of when you start getting sales and stuff like that, but make sure your markets and shipping are set up correctly. Now, what markets and shipping are is it enables people to check out. So shipping is obviously, self-explanatory. They pay for shipping at the checkout. But if you do not have their set country allocated, then they will literally not let that person check out. So a funny story, I worked with a YouTuber who's really big on YouTube. We worked together on a merch drop. So essentially what that is, I know a lot about business, I know a lot about sourcing products, I know a lot about print on demand, they know a lot about being a creator. So I came to them, and before they were just fulfilling all the orders from their basement or something like that. And I said, let me implement a system where it'll be print on demand, so you don't have to have any stock, you don't have to send out any of the orders yourself, it will all get sent, and you will also increase your profit margins. We dropped, and then in the first hour we did like 10K. But after like 20 minutes, I was seeing a lot of people in the comments like, I'm from Germany or I'm from Ireland, I can't check out. And I was like, what's going on? I was like, people are checking out though, people are buying, so what's going on? So I went inside into the markets and shipping section and checked that basically Ireland hadn't been set up, Germany hadn't been set up. So I was obviously panicking like, there's a lot of people on the website right now, let me sort that out quickly. So quickly sorted that and it was fixed. But imagine now if I had gone crazy viral on TikTok, I had a 10 million view video and I didn't have these markets or shipping set up, no one would be able to check out if you don't have it set up properly. It's very simple. All you have to do is go to markets, select the set countries that you want, and then press active. And then also with shipping, I would set specific, whether you want to do free shipping, paid shipping, whatever. Make sure to set it up correctly. And also make sure to do like a test checkout before you go live with your store. You can even set up a £1 product and then pay for it yourself, because the Shopify test checkouts, like they're good, but I prefer to like actually pay with a card to see if it goes through. Number 4 is being a sniper rifle instead of a machine gun. You're probably sat there like, what is this guy on about? Machine gun is like you fire loads of times hoping that one shot will hit. A sniper is a perfect shot, right? You line up a perfect shot, take the shot. When I first started out and when I told a lot of people, I was like, just test. Yes, when you're starting out, testing as many products as possible is ideal because you don't have that eye for product. There's this thing in dropshipping where it's like you develop an eye for products, right? I could look at a product now and tell before testing it whether it's going to be a winner or not. People that are starting out, they don't really know whether it is or not. You just develop an eye for products, right? It just comes with experience. But when you're starting out, I would advise you to be a sniper rifle instead of a machine gun. A machine gun, just testing everything, testing loads of different things, testing so much, right? A sniper rifle is doing your due diligence on each product, actually doing market research. Are you using Google Trends to backtest whether that's going to be an effective product to use? What are the comments like in that video? Are people saying, where can I buy this? Are they tagging their friends in the comments? They're obviously using Shop Hunter as well. You're basically acting off of data as opposed to impulse. You're acting off of literal data that you can use and put forward and go, yeah, you know what? The data is backing this product. I think is going to be a good product to use, and therefore I'm going to run it. Instead of just going, oh, I like the look of that product, let's run it. Because you're going to test so many shit products that you're just going to, you're going to burn through 10 products. It's like the saying quality over quantity. If you can get both correct, if you can do the due diligence on each product, actually verify whether that product's going to be good with data, and you can do that a lot, then perfect. But if you're just looking at products and going, oh yeah, I'll test that, and that, you are going to just waste your time. And also the mental resilience of, you're going to test so much stuff and get disheartened and fail a lot. And shameless plug, below there actually is an hour free training where I spoke about a lot of this stuff, but in more detail, basically a step-by-step guide on how to get your first sales with dropshipping. That's not guaranteed. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't force it to drink. I could literally give, and this is the thing that you guys have to understand as well, and this will lead on to my next point. You have to understand that I could literally give everything I know to you on a plate, and if you're not there mentally, you're never going to do anything with it. I could sit in a room with Elon Musk, but if I don't have the mental resilience to experience setbacks and failures and keep going, then I'm never going to succeed, no matter what information you have. I could literally make all the information that I have and all the information that I provide product drops, etc., that I do with Inside the Palace, all for free. And it still wouldn't mean necessarily that you would succeed, because you probably would be in there for a week, do nothing with it, and after a week completely forget about the information that they were given. That leads me on to my next point. Number 5, mindset is make or break. And I genuinely mean it when I say this. When it comes to dropshipping, you need to understand that there are going to be failures, there are going to be setbacks, there are going to be things that don't go your way, and it's with anything. I dropship, but FBA, SMMA, copywriting, all of these things, they're all viable business models. You know, you never see someone do an FBA saying, oh yeah, dropshipping is a viable. They just always, oh, dropshipping doesn't work, blah, blah, blah. Bro, I'm a transparent person. You know what I mean? All of these business models are viable, and I can guarantee that every single one is 90% mentality. But what you have to understand with dropshipping is that I've seen so many people come and go, do stores, give up after 2 weeks. Oh, it's not working. No, dropshipping's dead, etc. You have to understand that, you know, you're not going to get it straight away. There's setbacks that are going to come to your way, and it's whether you want to sink or swim. You know, it is literally up to you on how you deal with them setbacks, and whether you're a resilient person, and whether you're going to keep going regardless of whether you have 5 failed stores. Because it's like the picture of the guy mining for diamonds. He's literally one feet away from hitting that, but he's given up. All of that work, literally, you cannot fail if you do not give up. Like, you literally cannot fail. Whether it takes a year or 2 years, whatever it takes, you have to have the patience and resilience to be able to bounce back from setbacks and go again, regardless of what happens. And dropshipping is, and anything within business, is simply the survival of the fittest. You know, who wants it the most? Who actually is just gonna say, you know what, I'm gonna do whatever it takes to make this happen? Those are the people that succeed. I could literally one-to-one mentor you, or someone that's doing millions a month in dropshipping could one-to-one mentor you. And if you are not in the right mindset, or you do not have the right mindset, you will literally not succeed. The sooner you understand that, the better. Hopefully you're not giving up after you test one product. When I first started my clothing brand, which was one of the first things I saw success with, I was building that clothing brand 4 months prior to launching it, figuring out what clothes I should sell, figuring out the website. I never knew how to make a website, but I just learned. I just figured out a way to do it. That actually brings me on to the 6th point. I'm going to add a bonus thing. Do not be afraid to put your ego aside and learn from someone that actually knows what they're doing. Now, I'm genuinely not saying this because I have some sort of educational program. I'm saying it because when I first started out, I failed for so long, had no clue what I was doing. And then I joined this community on Twitter when I was like 16 years old, Utopia or something like that. Once I joined, I learned so much from it. It was £100 to join. I genuinely think at the time I probably had like £500 in my bank. Best thing I ever learned. And that was for my clothing brand. When it came to dropshipping, a friend of mine said they had a private supplier, but I would have to pay him to use it because it's very valuable. I said, right, fuck it. I'll send you the money, send me the private supplier. One of the best things I ever did, because private suppliers are so hard to come by. Another instance is that someone was like, right, I'll teach you for £500. I think I spent half of my money in my bank to learn from this guy, and it's probably one of the best things I ever did. Literally 3 weeks later, did a store that did like 40K in 3-4 days. And I'm genuinely saying this from the bottom of my heart. Do not be afraid to get resources or pay for resources or invest in yourself. I know a lot of people want to go on their own. Go at it on your own at first, but the analogy that I always say is that going from London to Manchester without a GPS is so hard if you have no road signs to follow, etc. But having a GPS is going to get you exactly from London to Manchester in the exact time that it takes. And that GPS is made from someone that's already taken that journey. There's a weird stigma around learning dropshipping from other people, and it's understandable because a lot of like IML schemes back in the day, especially in the UK, people don't like the idea of learning, like paying to learn from someone. But in all honesty, whether it's you're doing FBA, dropshipping, SMMA, whatever it is, copywriting, find someone that knows what they're doing, learn from them. You know, even I will still pay for consultation calls, and I don't care because time will never come back, but money will. I'm not saying this whatsoever because I do have an educational program. That is not why I'm saying it whatsoever. I genuinely mean it. But yeah, I think that's everything. I'm pretty sure that covers everything. If you want to join and get that 1 hour free breakdown, once you sign up to the free roadmap, that'll get sent to your email. You can also join the Discord, which is also completely free, the Discord community. And I will try to provide as much value as possible throughout these YouTube videos. If you did enjoy the video, drop a sub, drop a like, drop a comment.